Hello, my name is RexQ, and this is my ED thesis final presentation. My concept is metaxy, and I wanted to create spaces that kind of function in between being finished. This would allow for less formal planning, which would allow for faculty and students to modify spaces as seen fit. This is done through the walls, which would utilize garage doors and accordion doors, which would open up depending on the need of the studios and classrooms. The word metaxy comes from Plato's Symposium, which means in-betweenness, and I also wanted a large variety of spaces to be utilized, as well as a lot of choice so people can love the spaces that they utilize. My metaphor is mycelium, which is shown here, which generally break things down and provide nutrients for the ecosystem. And I wanted this to be the metaphor because I wanted something more thready, more organic. However, I also wanted to break down different forms and ideas from the existing building and create something new so the school could function better. This conceptual diagram represents how color was designed, with the rationale here. They're lighter on this end, which is closer to the park, and darker towards this end, which is where the apartments and urban architecture is more represented, with grids towards the urban architecture and more organic towards the park, and a more radial design within the center. This drawing represents how the concept was originally represented through the breakdown of walls, with the blue representing studios and the yellow representing classrooms and the yellow representing studios. This is the 6th floor. The only difference between the two floors is that there's a computer lab and the faculty office area. These two spaces connect through a hole in the ceiling and floor, with a gallery, which would hang drawings or boards through aircraft cables. Hopefully similar to a flagpole, it would be able to move and share drawings for the space. And here's the 5th floor plan, but it'll be elaborated with furniture on this drawing. So on this drawing, it represents one way this floor plan could be utilized. Really quickly, there's a gallery here. These have wheels and would be movable, and tables can also be placed in front for models. However, can be moved into the storage areas here and here when not needed. Here's a cafe, and this area can be repurposed into a rest area with flex rooms that can be utilized for resting or prayer. And this drawing just represents how these studios would open into each other. So these two studios would connect to this one. This area is the faculty area with an intermediate space here, which can connect to this studio or connect to the faculty area or connect both of them together depending on how the garage doors are being utilized on this end. And this also connects to this area. These two connect to this area with flex rooms here, a hallway critique area here, where furniture can be placed. And this classroom connects to this open studio here with flex rooms here, here, here. And there is a horticulture area with vertical farming, which would allow for landscape students to have more native or plants that they can see within the building, as well as the material/construction lab here with vertical storage. The red here represents egress that connects to the emergency stairs, while the yellow here represents how this space would be traversed to get to the emergency stairs here. The west elevation has the fiber optic lighting off, which just allows you to see kind of into the building and see how where the existing facade is placed and the glazing and polycarbonate. Oh my god. On the bottom portion of the windows, they would utilize glazing, while on the top part it would utilize polycarbonate, and the polycarbonate will allow for more diffuse light and a different way to see the lighting, the exterior lighting. This section shows the connection through the gallery here in the west section, as well as different drawings of the space. The isometric gives you a quick way to see how the spaces connect and how they open up or don't open up, as the garage doors are closed while the accordion doors are open. The conceptual model shows the lighting done in different ways, with the top having a more layered and chaotic lighting, while the fifth floor reflects the interior color scheme lighting as the lighting color. However, they would normally be synced up. This was a quicker way to represent the different ways that the exterior lighting could be used and layered within this building. And here are the floors separated. This part of the model represents how the ceiling would be designed, with the red ribbon, similar to the floor plan, would represent how people would move through this building on this side to the emergency exit, as well as the yellow representing it here to the elevators and the emergency stairs. Larger ribbons that form like walls represent enclosed spaces, with the ceiling scheme of the lighting being represented through the yarn. And here are different photos of the interior part of the fifth floor, with the garage door being put up. This area represents how I designed the polycarbonate part of the south end of the building, which will be seen in the renderings. And this is how the studio was designed, with the aircraft cable hanging down, connecting the 6th and the 5th floor. And here are different photos. This model represents how the ideas were formed, with the east end being more busy. Lighting would be layered through the polycarbonate and represent the enclosed spaces, with how the glazing and the polycarbonate would connect through the exterior, and simple way to represent the flooring and how the yarn was designed. Here, this concept model was also utilized to decide how I wanted to do the color scheme, as well as how I wanted to design the exterior, and it's more similar to the 6th floor model. The materials and finishes: this is a translucent covering for the ceiling plane. Holes would be introduced where focal lighting is required or task lighting is required, with the fiber optic cable. Resin with vinyl chips would be utilized to create a higher performance flooring, while creating a simple floor finish throughout the space. The exterior would use Calwall with Lumira aerogel on the top portion, with anti-glare glazing on the bottom, fiber optic lighting in the existing. White cork would be utilized for the walls to pin up and can be continued to be specified by the interior designer. Here are the exterior renderings, a conceptual less conceptual, and this is facing the south area. This is the gallery areas, and here are the south studio areas. And here's from the rest area on the west end, looking through with the gallery again and the studio. Thank you.